What do your dream figures mean? Have you ever considered how wild it is that every night you go to sleep, your mind produces these complicated, realistic personalities that you then interact with? In our non-lucid dreams, we play out very real dramas. We get frightened or aroused or annoyed by essentially ourselves. And dream figures hold a lot of potential for learning. So when you are interacting in a lucid dream and you're meeting dream figures, do not miss out on the opportunity to ask them this key question. To see why this question can be so important, let me tell you a quick story. I was once in a lucid dream and I had a very clear dream mission, and I was on my way, really focused, and then I noticed a dream figure, and she had something about her that was really compelling. There's different levels of dream figures, and you can watch my video about that if you want to learn more, but she was very much a lead role, maybe even archetypal energy. And so even though I had this dream mission kind of on the go, I couldn't ignore this really compelling dream figure. And she was lying on the ground and she was only wearing underwear. She had like a set of black panties and a black bra, and her whole body was covered in tattoos of bright red roses with black leaves and black thorns. And then also all over her body, she had these patches, almost like crisscrosses of scarification, but all over her body, and probably like 24 different patches. And she was really beautiful, but also like almost quite tragic in some way. And so I went up to her, and this was probably in the first couple of years of my lucid dreaming, and I was just getting used to this practice. And so she stood up, and I remember thinking like, what do I do? What do I say? And I remembered this question I just asked her. I said, what do you represent? And she said to me, she said, I am the part of you that collapses into depression so that you don't feel like you have to do anything and no one can be mad at you. And it was such a surprise. This was not a dream mission I had concocted, but it felt and it landed as so true, this aspect of myself. And I integrated her and of course then continued with my dream mission. But for some context, when I woke up from that dream, two things happened. Well, first of all, I was able to see a pattern in myself that I didn't even really recognize consciously before. I had a long history with depression and depressive bouts, and I really, for the first time, could see and acknowledge that sometimes for me, depression was a way out of overwhelm. And it was quite a hard thing to confront, but when I did that, it was really liberating. And then the second thing that happened was by integrating that aspect, by seeing, loving, accepting, and bringing that back into myself, I found that this pattern didn't play out in my life anymore. So it's a powerful way to work with ourselves, right? And the cool thing about this question, what do you represent? It gives you the possibility to work with aspects of yourself that you wouldn't even think to summon in the first place. I would never have come up with that as a lucid dreaming mission for myself. So if you have that question in your back pocket, what do you represent? As you're moving through the lucid dreaming realm, if you come across dream figures who are compelling or interesting or problematic, please do not miss the opportunity to ask them what they represent and to integrate them back into yourself. And at the heart of this is the recognition that, dream figures are not random. Everything in a lucid dream is made of some aspect of your psychology. And so approaching it with curiosity and friendliness can really help. And if you're curious about dream figures and the different kinds of levels of awareness they can have, make sure you watch my video which breaks down those different levels and how to interact with them.